An ABC anchor did get suspended, and the internet immediately slapped Alexandra Eala's name on it.
I saw the other day with Alex Eala, that's been a talk, and which is understandable. There's some players coming from respective countries, like she's coming from Philippines, which is now a big deal. She's been the biggest ever, tennis player from that country, which is a big country, and there's a big interest. So things like that happen. I mean, it's you could argue that it was, maybe a poor schedule, and maybe they could schedule him on a bigger court. Yes, but again, she's so young and she's just coming through. So, and obviously the first couple rounds, the schedule is so packed. The big courts with big names, it's difficult. It's not easy to manage that. But again, it's a good problem to have, to be honest.
I mean, she played an incredible match, and I tried my very best. I was fighting till the very last point. I had my opportunities. Feels like I missed a couple, but I mean, it's tennis, Today you're a loser, tomorrow you're a winner. So hopefully I'll be more of a winner this season than a loser. So hoping right now and praying.
Thank you.
The problem? That suspension had absolutely nothing to do with Alexandra Eala, tennis, or the Philippines. And the channels that sold you that headline? They knew that before they hit upload. Right now, go ahead, search it. A BC anchor suspended Alex Eala. You'll find videos from channels called Tennis Mode, Tennisitics, and Cortiva. Titles screaming ABC anchor suspended live on air for insulting Alex Eala. Thousands of views. Filipino fans in the comments, outraged, defending her, sharing it everywhere. The algorithm is absolutely feasting, and the entire thing was assembled from two completely unrelated events that someone deliberately stitched together. So the real question here isn't whether an anchor got suspended. The real question is, who benefits when your love for Alexandra Eala gets turned into a product? Because that's exactly what's happening. And once you see how the machine works, you cannot unsee it. Here's the reframe, because this was never really a story about disrespect. It was always a story about a specific tactic, documented, named, confirmed. It's called keyword souping. The way it works, you take a trending name with massive engagement, Alexandra Eala. You grab a high-impact phrase from a real, unrelated news event, a BC anchor suspended. You smash them together into a headline that triggers a patriotic reflex so hard that nobody stops to ask whether these two things ever actually intersected. They didn't, not even slightly. But here's what makes it worse. There was a real anchor involved. There was real fake news circulating in the Philippines. And the way those two things got pulled into the same orbit is honestly more unsettling than the headline ever was. Let's go back to where this started. June 8, 2025. ABC News in the United States suspended one of its veteran correspondents, Terry Moran. This part is real. This part actually happened. Moran had posted on social media, later deleted, calling Donald Trump and White House advisor Stephen Miller world-class haters, and he specifically wrote that Miller's hatreds are his spiritual nourishment. A BC News put out a statement saying the post violated their standards for objectivity and impartiality. Moran was suspended pending further evaluation. His contract was not renewed. After nearly 28 years with the network, Terry Moran eventually moved on to host a Substack account. That's the whole story. Terry Moran, June 8, 2025. Political posts about American politics. 0 tennis. 0 Philippines. 0 Alexandra Eala. And that's exactly where things shifted. Because content farms don't need the truth to line up, they only need the keywords to collide. What happened next was the second layer, and this one hit a lot closer to home. January 20th, 2026. Fake social media posts and fabricated graphics start flooding Facebook in the Philippines. The claim that Mel Tiangco, the lead anchor of GMA Network's 24 Horas, one of the most recognized faces in Filipino broadcast journalism, had insulted Alexandra Eala on air, calling her a despicable and selfish person. It spread fast. At least 3 separate Facebook pages were pushing the same fabricated quote, the same fake screenshots. The algorithm rewarded the outrage. The shares kept coming. 3 days later, on January 23rd, Mel Tiangco was live on 24 Horas, and she addressed it head-on, on air. Tiangco said, "In case you've seen the fake posts claiming I insulted Philippine tennis star Alex Eala, I want to clearly say that those posts are fake. I have never insulted her. On the contrary, I celebrate her and pray for her." 3 days after that, January 26th, fact-checking organization Vera Files officially flagged the posts as fake. Their investigation confirmed it. At least 3 Facebook pages had been circulating the fabricated quote, and there was no broadcast record of Tiangco ever saying any of it. 3 days. Mel Tiangco, a veteran journalist, forced to go on live television to deny something that never happened. Vera Files spending investigative resources debunking a quote someone made up, and the ad revenue from those 3 Facebook pages and the YouTube channels running the same narrative already collected, whether the story was real or not. Because here's the thing, Alexandra Eala does not need manufactured controversy to be the most compelling story in Asian tennis right now. The actual numbers, the verified ones, make every fake headline look embarrassing. Total career prize money as of February 2026, $1,577,177 US. In the 2025 season alone, Eala earned $907,777. That's nearly double everything she'd made in her entire career before that year. Her pre-2025 career total was $455,908 one season, and she almost doubled it. At the Miami Open in March 2025, Eala walked in ranked number 140. She beat Jelena Ostapenko, the 2017 French Open champion, ranked number 25 at the time, 7-6, 7-5. Then she beat world number 2 Iga Swiatek. Then Madison Keys. She reached the semifinals against Jessica Pegula and walked out of Miami having jumped 65 spots, debuting in the WTA Top 100 at world number Chi Wu. Then Guadalajara, September 2025. Seeded number 2, entered as a last-minute wildcard. Her second-round match against American qualifier Varvara Lepchenko went 3 hours and 10 minutes, split over 2 days, and Eala won it 6-7-3, 7-6-3, 6-3. In the final, she dropped the first set 1-6 to Hungary's Pana Udvardy, then came back to win 7-5, 6-3. First Filipino athlete to win a WTA title at the challenger level. Rafael Nadal sent a congratulatory message. He said he was happy and proud of her achievements, for herself and for the Philippines. February 9th, 2026. Career high ranking of world number 40. The highest-ranked Filipino player in the history of the sport. And at the 2026 Australian Open, tournament officials assigned her first-round match against Alicia Parks to Court 6, a mid-sized secondary court. The queues snaked all the way back toward Rod Laver Arena. Hundreds of fans couldn't get inside. the Australian Open had to issue an official statement after what observers described as an unprecedentedly fervent atmosphere for a preliminary round match. Inside the court, Parks later admitted the environment was very difficult and distracting. The crowd was cheering when she missed serves. That is what these content farms are actually monetizing, not their own content. Yours, your pride, your loyalty to a player who earned every single one of those ranking points herself. Now here's the part that reframes everything, and it connects directly back to that original headline. The ABC confusion isn't random. There's a documented history of real suspensions tied to entities called ABC. In 2014, Australian Broadcasting Corporation Rugby League commentators Warren Ryan and David Morrow were suspended after Ryan used a racial slur on air. Morrow was investigated for laughing at it. In June 2025, the same month Terry Moran was suspended in America, a federal court ruled that the Australian Broadcasting Corporation had wrongfully dismissed journalist Antoinette Lattouf back in December 2023, ordering the ABC to pay $70,000 in compensation. And in February 2026, cricket commentator Peter Lalore was removed by a network frequently misidentified in sports coverage as ABC, with management claiming the sound of his voice made some listeners feel unsafe. So look at what the content farm has to work with. Real ABC suspensions in Australia, a real ABC News suspension in America, a Filipino athlete with some of the highest engagement metrics in tennis, and an audience that may not always distinguish between ABC News, USA, ABC Australia, or the Filipino broadcast ecosystem. You combine those elements, you publish, you collect the revenue from the outrage you manufactured. But here's the irony, the one these channels never intended. By building a fake scandal around Alexandra Eala's name, Tennis Mode, Tennis and Cortiva have actually documented in real time just how significant she's become. You don't build a misinformation operation around players nobody cares about. The fake scandal is its own proof of her magnitude. Eala herself spoke about it in February 2026. She described the relentless camera attention as feeling like being an animal in a zoo, the near-constant observation, the smartphones, the lack of control. She said, "Fame blurs the boundaries, and that athletes often lack the power to draw their own line of privacy. It's a sentiment world number." One Iga Swiatek echoed after a separate incident. "The athlete is telling you exactly what this feels like from the inside. And the machine keeps running anyway." This is bigger than one viral headline. What you're looking at is a blueprint for what happens when a national icon rises faster than legitimate journalism can keep up with her. Basketball and boxing in the Philippines have deep reporting infrastructures, established journalists, editorial standards, fact-checking pipelines built over decades. Tennis is newer in that sense. That information gap is the exact entry point these content farms exploit. Fans looking for immediate news about his results don't always land on established sports outlets first. They land on YouTube, they land on Facebook, and they find content engineered not to inform, but to monetize the emotional space between what you want to know and what's actually been verified. Mel Tiangco had to go on live television to deny something that never happened. Vera Files had to dedicate resources to debunking a fabricated Facebook quote. And Alexandra Eala, currently in the global top 50, competing at the Dubai Championships right now, is playing through all of it, compartmentalizing, as she put it herself, after the Court 6 chaos in Melbourne. That's a player carrying the weight of a national movement, while content farms strip mine that weight for ad revenue. So the next time you see a headline about a suspension, an insult, a hot mic moment, check the date, check the network, check whether Vera Files or any legitimate fact-checking organization has touched it, because Tennis Mode, Tennis and Cortiva are counting on you not to. Based on her current trajectory, Alexandra Eala is projected to potentially reach the top 30 to 35 range by the end of the spring season. The Dubai Championships are ongoing. The real story keeps writing itself, match by match, ranking point by ranking point, without any help from anyone. But here's the question nobody's answered yet. Tennis Mode, Tennisitics, Cortiva, 3 named channels, 3 fabricated titles, thousands of views, documented. The keyword souping operation is confirmed and on record. So when does anyone actually shut it down?